welcome to a Friday evening edition of the Nerd Reactor Show. And we have here a bunch of esteemed guests, the best of the best, the cream of the crop. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Let's start with Nick. Introduce yourself.
I'm Nick, aka Keegbot. Uh, I write typically I write reviews of some news articles for Nerd Reactor, and I am a big DC fan. I am a Marvel fan, but I'm a big DC fan, and that's me.
And Lewis.
My name is Louis Lecker. I am the leader of the worldwide resistance. Last hope for mankind. You can follow me at Nerd Lecker. Yeah.
Who are you?
And I love Batman too. And DC for life, baby.
Tiffany.
I'm Tiffany. I'm a Disney fan. Sprinkle by Magic is my nerdy account that I share with a friend. We do scavenger hunts is kind of our main thing. If you like that, check us out. LA based.
And Bob.
I like other things besides Disney,
everyone. I am Bob, aka Long Live Bob. You guys should know me by now because I've been on UV.
And so pretty much the topic, we're trying to come up with the topic for today's video live stream. And Nick sends me a video. Someone tweeted a video of Zack Snyder explaining why the Martha scene in Batman v Superman is, it's why it's valid. And so I was watching it. And I'm like,
Get out of here.
I was watching it and I was like, well, he pretty much talks about the things that already, we should know because it's in the movie. It's self-explanatory. But somebody on Twitter decides to put that hey, this is it. Whenever someone tries to argue that Martha scene is dumb, I'm going to send this to them, this video.
It is a valid scene. What is everyone talking about?
There's a lot of people that are like, oh, yeah, because his mom's got the same name. They don't understand. And so John has a better understanding of it, but still doesn't like it.
Well, it's because Batman looks at Superman as a thing from another world. He doesn't equate Superman with a human.
And then when he hears he has a mom, he sees him as human.
And he sees him as hey, he's just like me. But the execution may have been poor, but I totally get the idea. It's a good idea, John. John, go home.
Okay, I'll go home. See you.
Oh, wait, you're there,
everybody. But yeah, let's start by talking about, or let's watch the scene first. Yeah, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Save Martha.
And then he's gonna have his flashback. It's like, oh no, you triggered a flashback. And then it's good to, oh yeah, his parents die. Oh, Martha.
Why did you say that name?
Why?
Why did you say that name? Why did you say that name?
All right, Batman, calm down. So, who likes this scene here?
I'm raising my hand.
You're raising your hand. So we got two people in here that likes it. Explain to me why the scene's like the greatest scene in cinematic history.
Oh my God, it's not. I'm Your Father is.
Yes.
But this is a great scene too.
Yeah, it's a good scene.
It's a good scene. The only problem is I feel like this film is a little bit too convoluted with Doomsday in it, Lex Luthor getting cloned. Is this the one where the lady, the Congress lady, the pee in the jar? There's just so many things going on that the execution for Batman, realizing that, hey, this guy is just like me was a little off. And you kind of have to, I do admit you have to add it. But as far as that, the thought of it, it's pretty cool. And the music's really good too. So go home, John.
The music's great. I love the soundtrack. It's like the beginning with Batman, like the little prologue with Bruce Wayne becoming, his origin story. Beautiful, beautiful.
It's tragic.
I feel like this particular scene shows a lot of depth for Batman because throughout the beginning of the movie, again, he's working in absolutes, which is not typical Batman, and he's killing people, and you're like, this isn't typical Batman. But then you see the Robin suit, jokes on you, and you realize that the Joker had killed Robin, and that could have triggered Batman to go down a whole different road, and he kind of lost himself, as well as many other factors. And then obviously this guy, he watched in the beginning of the movie, he watched Superman and Zod fight in Metropolis and knock down a bunch of one of his buildings that he owned, knocked down and killed a bunch of people. And so he's seeing it from a different perspective. And he
killed people he knew, Nick. Don't forget that.
He knew. Yeah, he knew. So he started working absolutes, and if I think Lex Luthor says if you're all powerful, you can't be all good, and if you're all good, you can't be all powerful, or something like that. So that's kind of a similar mindset that Bruce Wayne had, or Batman had. But as Zack Snyder says in this, let's watch it. Let's
watch this scene. Here's Zack Snyder.
I bet your parents taught you that you mean something, that you're here for a reason. My parents taught me a different lesson. Dying in the gutter for no reason at all. They taught me the world only makes sense
if you force it to.
Yeah,
which I think sums up sort of the philosophical, like, he's come to this, all the way to this notion that, like, he can only live in a world that he forces into a morality that he can justify. But in the end, he's about to discover that his actions can easily go too far, and that he can become what he observes and that what he hates, which the very thing he's fighting against. In this sequence, like, he's basically turned into the murderer of his parents in a way, because, like, he's allowing them to kill Martha. So, like, is he responsible for the death of Martha? Has he become basically 100% the thing that he blinded by his hatred? He's become the thing he hates. But,
wow, I stand corrected. I was wrong. This is bad.
Why is it bad?
Because his explanation is totally not what I thought it was.
What did you thought it was going to be?
What I said earlier, he didn't equate Superman with being human. He thought of him as an alien that would be corrupted easily because he's all powerful. Now he's saying it's equated with somehow the death of Martha Kent and the dad. I don't know, bro. Sorry, Zach. Love you. Sorry.
Nick, in your defense,
I think both ideas can be at play. And I think
one idea I like, the other one I don't like. The one he intended, he said, I don't like that idea.
I think it's he's realizing he's kind of a human aspect, but at the same time, he's also realizing that he's taken it too far. Because the whole movie prior to that, Alfred's trying to connect with him and say, this is a little crazy. And he's kind of losing himself. And at that moment, he realizes that he's basically turned into that guy he's just as bad as them at that point.
But prior to that, he killed a lot of people in the jails and stuff. But he could have said, save Tiffany! Save Tiffany! And it could have been the same thing, because Zack Snyder obviously is not thinking the way I thought he was thinking.
He's thinking it's his mom, though. It's like one of his biggest things, right? So
yeah,
he thinks back to it a lot, and he doesn't know that Superman's mom's name is Martha. And so he's immediately drawn. He's the name, and he instantly thinks of his mom. And then he realizes what position he's in. He's saving Martha, and he's like, "Whoa, I am that guy now. I should." Anyways,
does Batman ever call Superman Clark in this film? I forgot.
I don't think he does. No.
Okay.
Why did you say that?
Oh my God!
I think he called him Clark in Justice League.
Justice League, yeah, because they're becoming friends. But yeah, this one is just the scene. Like people's been talking about this scene over and over again, and I still feel the same way how I felt before, where I just think it's this dumb scene where just Superman is like, "Oh, save Martha." Why would you even say that? Like,
see, here's my thing with this.
no, but let me finish.
Go ahead.
He says Martha, like as a mother, like anyone here call their mom by their first name? Like you say, save my mom, save her.
He should have said mom, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Mom would be more natural, more realistic, but the writing is just so bad that they had to force in Martha so that we would understand. Like, oh yeah, both their parents are named Martha. Like, how are we going to show that? And Zack Snyder thinks he's like a genius with this scene where I'm gonna do this. People's gonna so get it.
Genius. He's trying to make a movie that he thinks people are gonna like. I don't think he made a movie people didn't like on purpose. No one does that, but yeah. I do think, like, if you have a property that's beloved for 80 years, you got to respect the source material. And the Boy Scout Superman is what people love. And if you have like an emo Superman, that's not, that's kind of you're gonna expect blowback from there. I feel like a lot of the Superman here was Dr. Manhattan, and I feel like Zack Snyder, who was trying to relive the Dr. Manhattan part of his career by making Batman even look like the Blue Beetle or whatever that guy is.
The Blue Beetle.
What's his name? The guy.
The original '50s Blue Beetle. Yeah.
Well, he looked like the guy from
Watchmen.
The Watchmen, which is I forgot his name. Night Owl. Right?
Oh yeah.
There was a part, which is nothing wrong with that, but I don't think it mixes with this as good as it should have been. But
I'll disagree. I think it's pretty easy to surmise why Superman would save Martha. Batman has X-ray vision, so his first interaction with Batman, he could see him, right? So Superman could say, "Oh yeah, that's when he lands on his car and fucks up his car." Like he's like, "Oh okay, look who that is." Now everyone knows who Bruce Wayne is. Google. Oh, I'm a reporter. There's this thing called Google. Cool. His mom's name is Martha. My mom's name is Martha. So that's why I would say Martha's name to get the attention. Just like, any class of psychology will tell you, if there's 10 people that see someone getting killed, they're just going to stand around and watch. If you point at a person and say, you call 911, that person will do it. So by him saying Martha, he was able to directly relate to Superman or to Batman. So that's what I would do.
So you think Superman did that to
theory, but
Superman's a genius. I mean, Superman is literally
not even that.
That's one thing people don't understand. Superman is smart.
Superman's getting his ass stomped on. That's the last thing I would think he was.
Superman
thinking,
is
both our parents are named Martha. I want to say Martha now because I know Batman. No, he just said Martha because like somebody needs to save her.
He wasn't thinking 2 steps ahead. There, but Bruce wouldn't even listen to him at all.
He's just immediately, so he thinks as fast as the Flash, which means that in like a second he can process. I mean, how much information can he process in 1 second? If you want to go back to the source material, that all makes perfect sense. Just like Barry Allen,
he can process all that information in a split second. How come he just got his ass handed to him by Batman?
Because
in this game, how come also this? How come every time we talk about source material, we talk about the original comics? We can't talk about the New 52.
Yeah,
they're different. The Superman and New 52 and the original are different.
And they're Superman Earth 1 was the primary basis.
Exactly. So why DC's got a lot of different comics where they portrayed the same person in different manners, and so as soon as it comes to a movie, they're like, "No, it's not the original Superman." Nope.
Well, but
I don't want to see that fucking potato Christopher Reeves. That guy was boring as shit. Why would
that's the one people talk about 40 years later, though. They're bagging on this movie. Had to get rebooted.
Yeah.
This movie had to get rebooted, so people want the Christopher Reeves, and they haven't really made it because Superman Returns. Brandon Routh was emo. Then they reboot that and they bring in, the Zack Snyder version. He's emo again. So it's like they didn't get rid of the emo and it never works like that. We had 10 years
emo as Batman.
We had 10 years of Smallville.
Like heavy depth to someone's character. And he's adding this moral compass and showing his actual like thinking process and kind of like taking it seriously. Because when you're in a role like that in real life, that's not a job. That's not a thing you'd be like, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it'd be great if we had something similar to like the original comic series, but that's not what we got, and I'm okay with both. I mean, you look at the Dark Knight animated movie, and I think that's very similar to this for the Batman side of things. And then you look at some of the other like I'm trying to think of one, even like uh Reign of Superman or like a Superman, Death of Superman. It's not like a happy-go-lucky Superman either, and nobody seems to complain about the animated movies. But when it comes to an actual live-action
they're
movie,
good.
Yep.
It's different.
I actually don't have a problem with the Martha scene as much as until I heard Zack Snyder explain what he really meant. But
so that moment,
I was there. I don't read the comics as much. But was there ever a Lex Luthor that he's portrayed by shoving Skittles up old men's mouths?
Jolly Ranchers.
Because or whatever it is, because if that's if there's one like that in the comics, man, no wonder comic sales are
that
low.
was more of a power play though. That's like
Jesus.
That was him.
That's like rubbing freaking crushed Oreos in
I didn't feel
in jail.
I don't get intimidated by that. I was like, what the hell is that, dude?
All right, let me call the floor for 1 second. Something to think about: the old original source material. You said people like Christopher Reeves and that bullshit Superman and all that. That was the 70s. Like, if you brought back shows from the 70s, Welcome Back, Kotter, I Dream of Jeannie, I mean, fucking The Partridge Family, those shows would not survive on any network television.
I got proof you're wrong.
Out of touch. Hold on. No, they're completely out of touch. I mean, they did One Day at a Time, got brought back, completely revamped it, turned it into a Latino family, dealing with all kinds of crap that's modern day problems. And that's the crap that they go through. I mean, rap has evolved into depression rap or emo rap, whatever you want to call it. So they made this Superman more relatable by giving him backstory that you can feel for him. Like, he was an alien. He's trying to feel human, but he's not. So he feels like an outsider, just like every person in the high school does. So I think even every adult when they start a new job or whatever. So I think they really made Superman someone that you could relate to versus here's this perfect Boy Scout who has, no problems and just stands there and does nothing like Christopher Reeves Superman.
Well, I mean, it's nothing personal, but we're movie arguing right now. But okay, so this Superman's so relatable that the box office flopped. That's number one. Number two, Smallville Superman is based on Christopher Reeve Superman. That's 10 years of Superman storyline.
And if that show came back on, everyone would watch it.
Oh no! Wait, hold on a second. It did. Crisis on Infinite Earth. One of the main reasons people watched was to see Christopher Reeve Superman, a la Brandon Routh, and
that was Kingdom Come Superman. That wasn't even close.
But he was acting like they played the John Williams score on it. He was channeling Christopher Reeve Superman, and that's what everyone was talking about.
$1 billion. Man of Steel made $2/3 of $1 billion. That's not a flop.
Because people go and watch it.
$668 billion.
People go and watch it and they go, "Oh, okay, we're not watching a sequel," and they did it, which is
Man of Steel cost $225. It got a 300% ROI. If I could invest $1,000 and get $3,000 back, that would not be a flop. So you cannot say Man of Steel was a flop.
Batman versus Superman is the what's it called? The fallout of Man of Steel,
which made $872.7 million.
With the best,
nearly $1 billion.
Yeah, but that's the best superheroes ever. It should have made more than $1 billion. Superman and Batman, bro, in one movie. Holy poop!
That should easily be $1 billion.
Yeah, that should have made freaking $2 billion, dude.
Yeah. And what was it? We got what was it? The other movies, like let's say the Marvel films. I don't want to bring in Marvel, but I just want to use it as an example.
Oh no, Marvel has a lot of cheese though too. Come on.
I'm just saying that you have Iron Man, you have Cap,
come on,
all of them together. Over $1 billion, and these are like not the cream of the crop of like Marvel compared to let's say DC.
Yeah, if you counted the first 5 Marvel or first 5 DC movies, that almost all made over $500 million each. So they probably pulled in near $3 billion, let's say $4 billion roughly between those 5 movies. And then you look at what Marvel did with their first 10 movies. Marvel definitely didn't make nearly as much money with their first 10 films that DC did with their first 5. And I love Marvel films. You guys know that. I'm just saying, like, people talk about DC being flops, but we didn't give them a lot of time. How many years later did they start? And I'm only talking about Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm not even talking about Amazing Spider-Man, The first 3 Spider-Man movies, which made what $112 million opening weekend. Like, if you count all of those, it probably took 12 Marvel movies to make as much as what DC did in 5 or 6. Like, easily that. So it's very, very hard to say that they flopped. We just didn't give them enough time. When did Man of Steel come out? And when did like Captain America come out? Versus when did Iron Man came out in 2008? Man of Steel was what, 2012, 2013? And took 3 years in between, whereas Marvel had a timeline where they had a new movie or 2 or 3 every year. Like, you got to account for that.
You know who's to blame
Marvel
for that, right?
Warner
Zack
Brothers.
Snyder's to blame for that. His vision.
No, I would blame Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers was having a lot of trouble. Everybody
Kevin
knows about
Feige has been quoted several times as saying that the reason people love Captain America is because he patterned it on Christopher Reeve's Superman. So that's relatable because he's a man he's like if you look at Captain America, he's like an alien almost. He's from a different time. People think he's goofy. They laugh at him. He has that line about the stars and stripes being outdated. And you kind of like go, wow, he doesn't get it, man. He's from another time. He's almost like a 40-year-old virgin.
But to say that people didn't like Batman or Superman, Man of Steel, because he was an emo Superman, like that's exactly what Captain America First Avenger was. I mean, he was trying to be the superhero and they wouldn't allow him to be it. Like, he fought against authority the entire time. He was bullied. He was literally an emo Captain America. And then when he went to the Avengers, remember, all he did was complain to Nick Fury at the beginning about like, hey, I'm out of time. All my friends are dead. All my friends are retired. Like, they're all, old. Like, I lost everybody. I have no one to talk to. Like, Captain America is the definition of an emo superhero. And that's why people loved him. That's the same reason why.
There's a difference between being straight emo, but then there's a balance. Captain America has that balance, and I wish Superman had that balance too, where he was just straight up.
No one talks about the first Captain America though.
I love that movie. I watched
it. It's a good movie, but a lot of people don't.
I still talk about it.
Yeah, it only made $370 million, which isn't a flop. But that was their first,
what else?
his first solo movie.
You know what other character is Christopher Reeve Superman? Wonder Woman. And Patty Jenkins. Patty Jenkins has said several times, this is Donner Superman. This is how I pattern. She even has the alley scene in the first film, which is exactly like Donner Superman.
Oh, I thought Wonder Woman was just a ripoff of Captain America First Avenger. I mean, I loved it. But
Wonder Woman was created in the what, 40s?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean the movies though.
Oh, movie wise, I could see that because of the war thing. But this Tiffany girl.
Well, I mean, like also Chris Trevor killing himself in the plane and all that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The Tiffany girl in this channel, John, you gotta like mute her. Dude.
I know, Tiffany, please. Yeah, thoughts, Tiffany?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the other thing that Christopher Reeves was based off of was the potatoes that Samwise cooked during Two Towers.
Wait, what?
I just have a huge hate for him.
And like potatoes, Christopher Reeves never goes out of style.
Wow.
Oh, I don't really like potatoes. I'm just saying, you can't really trash on Man of Steel because it made money.
And
we're in America where it's all about making money.
All right, Nick, go ahead.
I've been going crazy about, DC movies. I love, especially the animated movies. My wife won't watch those with me because she still thinks they're for kids, even though because they're animated. But it's a whole other thing. But I've gotten her to watch some newer ones. We watched Man of Steel. She loved it. We watched Batman v Superman. She goes, I don't know why people hate this so much.
Wait, what time? Batman v Superman?
Yeah. And this is not something I'm not like saying like I'm not watching her like, do you like it? Do you like the movie? No, I'm not like that at all. I'm just enjoying the movie. And afterwards, I don't even mention it. She'll be like, yeah, I don't know what the fuss is about. Man of Steel was great. I liked it. Not everybody did. I understand that. But and then we watched Suicide Squad, and we could both agree that was kind of like that went way too fast. It was just like different. It felt like completely different movies all jumbled into one. And so we both agreed that was kind of like I could see why they got a lot of flack. Then we watched Birds of Prey. She loved that one. I loved it. I thought it was great. That one did terrible in the box office, but I thought it was a great movie. We both watched Shazam. She loved that one too.
Oh, I love Shazam.
That also didn't do super good in the box office when it first came out. And then what else was there? There was The Kitchen. It's like a DC Vertigo movie. A lot of people hated that movie. I watched it with my wife. We're both like, I was expecting a terrible movie based on the fact that somebody in particular that might work with us at the website.
John?
Not John. I don't know what that was about, but somebody, Mark, hates that movie. He thinks it was the worst movie of last year. And I said, well, have you not seen Dark Phoenix? Have you not seen like Midway? And so he's like, well, it's only second Dark Phoenix. It's one of the worst movies of all time, though. And I was like, really? It's not. I mean, I give it like a 70%. The Kitchen. It's about Melissa McCarthy.
I wanted
It's
to
got
say, yeah.
two women. Yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty good. Was it phenomenal? No, but I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah,
and you still need to watch that one.
The worst movie last year, I was like, get out of here. Get out of here with that. So again, my wife was like, I don't understand why people are so mad about this. Like, I thought it looked great. Like, I thought it was great. So it's a matter of perspective. I mean, definitely DC movies are not getting good in the box office because there's such a bandwagon effect with Marvel right now. And
whoa. There's no bandwagon effect. For example,
okay.
Joker.
Hang on. Okay, that's the other one she thought was really good. That was, you're right. But that's like super
people
not
have silly criticisms of Joker.
Mm-hmm.
They reviewed it on Rotten Tomatoes without even watching it. They said it was a racist film without even watching it.
Mm-hmm.
So they bombed.
I wouldn't say on Rotten Tomatoes though.
Excuse me?
I wouldn't say on Rotten Tomatoes like
everywhere.
Before watching it, it would just say, "Oh,
the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes." The quotes were just political. Like, dude, it has nothing to do with the movie. You don't have to agree with the politics in the film, but was it well structured? Was there character development? Was the cinematography good? It was nowhere to be seen with half those people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gets me.
I didn't think it was that good. I watched it, and I mean, I thought Joaquin Phoenix did a pretty good job, but it was really slow. That movie could have been cut down to like an hour, and it would have been okay. But being as long as it was, I was bored as crap, and I was on a flight when I watched it. Like, I should have been able to be really.
You're watching it on a flight. You gotta see it in theaters.
I watched a lot of movies. I wasn't going to support that guy.
What guy?
Joaquin Phoenix.
See, it's politics first, and review the movie second.
So,
but I still give it a chance.
Are you on Rotten Tomatoes?
All in all,
no.
Anytime I talk to somebody about DC movies, they're immediately like, "Oh, that movie was so bad," and I'm like, oh, "Okay." I start talking to them about it. They're like, "Actually, no, it wasn't that bad." Like, okay, so you don't have an actual opinion of it. But if I ask them about any Marvel movie, like, oh, the best Endgame was amazing.
But it is amazing.
Yeah, I did love Endgame.
Infinity War was better. Endgame, I don't watch.
Infinity, I will agree. Infinity War, I think, was better. But I mean, there's like even my wife. She's a bit of a feminist. She's not like crazy one. But she was like, I like Birds of Prey because it didn't feel forced at all. She said the same thing about The Kitchen. She's like, it didn't feel forced. And when we watched Endgame, we both rolled our eyes in the scene at the end. We're like, are you kidding me?
Okay, that's the scene you're talking about, right? Yeah, that was a little bit forced.
Which one?
A little bit.
Which one?
The scene where they're gonna where Captain Marvel's like, all right, let's get Thanos, girls.
That was awesome, bro. It reminded me of like when Deadpool breaks the fourth wall. It was for us.
Tiffany, what do you think about that scene?
I actually like that scene, and I'm a little bit of a feminist as well, but like, I feel like a lot of people got upset about it because they're not used to seeing the Marvel women. And you get to see all the guys do that all the time. They all get together, they do their power stance, no one says anything.
Where have they done that? There's always Black Widow's always been there.
That's
Black Widow's always been there.
Black Widow was there in the first movie, the first Avengers movie, where the camera's panning around them.
Did she not count?
Did she not shoot her gun at Thanos like he was going to do something?
I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean,
I think
just
for
thought
me,
it's great for
go
little
ahead.
girls to see. Like, it wasn't made for
Give me a
us. That
second,
scene
guys.
was made for little girls that people to look up to. Like, that's why
Little
that scene
girls
was there.
don't look up to them.
See what was
dude,
cool?
they do.
What was really cool was when she came down through the freaking spaceship and just blasted through it like it was freaking nothing. And then she puts the hurt on Thanos, and all of a sudden she loses her power, and Thanos is stronger at some point. Like I was
'Cause
like,
he's got the stones.
Yeah, he has
he had the stones
power.
before.
But now he used it. You know what? I'm gonna use this on you.
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't know. See, that's a Martha situation for me right there.
What are your guys' thoughts on the Tim Burton Batman movies?
The which one? Oh wait, hold on. Before we continue that, let me show everyone watching one of my favorite scenes in cinematic history.
This is all about John.
Classic.
Goosebumps. Oh, what's that? Someone needs me? Yeah.
Tim Burton.
That's what I think about Tim Burton's Batman movies.
Wait, did she say Tim Burton or did she say Christopher Nolan?
And I said Tim Burton Batman movies. What do you think about all of them?
Which is only two, but
I like Tim Burton movies.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of them.
I think they're fun. I think they're a bit whimsical at times, but I think that they're fun to watch. I watch them with my kids now. So
look at that. Both Batman and Batman Returns.
Batman Returns is my favorite of the two.
Yeah, well, I have to run, John.
All right, Nick.
But thank you for enabling me in my obsession with these movies. But I understand why people are upset with it or don't like it, but I don't have to like that.
Nice shirt, Nick.
So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah. Hopefully we could see the real Justice League.
Oh,
just saying.
Where? Maybe we could do a Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition watch party.
I'm down. Count me in.
Yes.
I'm down.
Tiffany, are you down?
I'm ready.
Lois, I know you're down.
I'll do it for you, John. I'll do it for you.
No, you gotta do it for Martha.
The Martha scene wasn't bad though.
So why did you say that? Does that mean I have to watch the movie now? Martha.
When Zack Snyder explains what he really meant, it is bad though. All these years, I was like, it's not that bad, man. It's like he could relate to Superman at that point. You know, it didn't. Zack Snyder ruined it.
But I like this. We're able to just talk about it.
I don't like it, dude. I don't like to be contradicted. No, I don't like this, John.
No, but you know what I don't like? It's like when you say something and then everyone clumps you in a certain group. I was like, oh, you're this or you're that. It's like sometimes you just don't like a movie, and like sometimes people say, oh, if you don't like this, you're a Marvel fan or whatnot. It's like, so why can't you like both? It's like the console wars. Why can't you like Sony and Microsoft? Like, whatever. Because look at this.
I'm XMen and DC girls person. Like as far as like Marvel movies, I'm happy that they exist, but I like my X-Men movies.
I love X-Men. I love X-Men. It was a different tone of Marvel, and I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah, Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy.
Yes, I love Poison Ivy.
I still need to watch the animated Harley Quinn show.
Who?
I like the animated stuff too.
You saw it? So you saw the was it the DC Universe one? Anybody saw it? Harley Quinn?
No,
Yes.
but I keep hearing about it.
Yes.
Bob?
I watched a little bit. I still got to finish it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, now you gotta Tiffany, sell me why I need to watch it. And then I'm gonna watch it.
Good. That's all you gotta know. It's good.
That's it. As good as the Martha scene.
I am not a fan of the Martha scene.
Martha.
I just felt like it was unnecessary, and I didn't get why they were doing it. But Yeah. That's me.
That's a lot of people. And it's like this whole people fighting now. And
Fighting
I
over
feel
Martha?
like if they would have
Fighting over this
edited
scene.
it down like way like a ton, it would have been a way better movie. If they would have gotten rid of like 40 minutes of that, it would have been an amazing movie.
That's how I feel about the Joker.
No, okay,
Joker was
I
too
didn't
short.
see Joker.
with those scenes, they can do it in a way that the execution could have been a lot better. Like the ideas there. Like maybe show, Martha like right there, like, oh, they're about to kill her right there, and then Batman sees it. Something where they can actually see it, and then maybe he stops. Because I feel like this, where it's just he says a name, and all of a sudden Batman just does a complete 180. He's about to kill Superman. He's ready. And all of a sudden you say a name, he just fully stops. I don't know how you can stop anyone.
Well,
like that
gets me is when Superman goes up he goes, Bruce, Lex Luthor has lied to us. He's tricking us. And Batman still shoots him. It's instead of listening to the guy. It's like little things like that what bugs me more. Like, come on, man, at least listen to the guy and then go, oh, you're bullshitting. But he's like, no, dude, it's a trick. Listen to me.
But
and then
he's
Batman
so
just fucking wails
about being weak. He's so scared about being weak against Superman and so freaked out about him being stronger than him that he doesn't think things properly through.
And I get what Zack Snyder's trying to say, that Batman has this history where he's bitter with the world. But the thing is, we never saw that. We have to like put it in our brain. Oh, this is like, we never got to see Ben Affleck's adventure as the Cape Crusader in Gotham. So we don't have that.
Because there wasn't an origin?
Well, or at least a standalone film where we could just have him to see how he deals with situations, with Christian Bale, I'm always going to think of the time where he's a kid and he falls and his dad says, why do we fall? To learn how to get up. So then I'm like, wow, that hurts. That's a great line. Correct.
And they use it again later on when he falls down the elevator shaft with Alfred.
Yeah.
And
but there's scenes like that I relate to the character. I mean, with Batman vs Superman, I feel like I have to insert it myself outside of the death in the beginning, but
like the reason why I liked the television series is because you get to see everything where like from beginning to the end kind of and I feel like when they
have an
things
origin
out of order, then it's harder for like people to understand where everyone's coming from. Like all of a sudden he's just broody and everyone's like, what happened? Even though everyone knows the story. But like it's still taken out of context.
This is why I can't wait for the next Batman film, the Batman with Matt Reeves. Depending on whether you like, it doesn't matter if you like it or not. I'm looking forward to like the story on how that's going to happen, and maybe get a better Batman, a recent Batman where we can root for and better paced and whatnot. So,
well, isn't Robert Pattinson going to be the Batman?
Hell yeah!
Yeah, he's going to be the Batman.
I'm going to give that a chance. I think Matt Reeves is awesome.
I think that's fine.
Same. I like Matt Reeves and I like Robert Pattinson.
There's never really been in these situations with these films, I've noticed there's seldomly a bad casting. There's usually bad writing.
Yep.
Brandon Routh was a good Superman, but and people like him. I mean, as you may still say, oh no, I don't like him, but he has a fan base. The only time it was bad casting was probably Jared Leto, but that's it. But everyone else, I mean, Margot Robbie's great as a great choice. Yeah, she's a great choice. Even Gail Gadot, she's great. And people bashed her, but she's great.
Who bashes her? Like, she's amazing as Wonder Woman.
Right before, you know how it is with before you see the movie, you bash everyone. Like you bash Heath Ledger before you see him as a Joker, and even with
I was completely on board with that.
Heath Ledger,
I was all for it.
I was
like, yes.
The only time I've ever seen no one bash anything like when it was cast, and maybe you guys had a different experience. The only time when they said, "Oh, this guy's playing Batman," everybody goes, "Oh shit," was Christian Bale, because he had American Psycho, he had all the emo movies. Like he already had a pretty big history of fucking shit up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
and you already saw American Psycho with him being shirtless. You can see the potential there. Yeah.
Could you pull that up? Could you pull that up? Could you pull that up? Could you pull that
one?
Hey Tiffany, it's funny when you mentioned about Gal Gadot and people not liking her. It was actually mostly women that didn't like her.
Really?
I remember even some of our writers with Nerd Reactor just weren't big fans because they like made her armpits not have any hair, like they made her hairless, like even though she was supposed to be like a feminist icon. There was a lot of hate from a lot of women, and it was pretty astounding to me. I thought she was great. I mean, she was awesome in Fast and the Furious.
I am so,
and she was like in the.
Oh, I didn't see any of that ever.
They wanted armpit hair?
Like a visual effects studio, and like
they were pissed that they like bleached it. And what's called like recolored it. I remember seeing articles about that. I won't say specific websites, but I'm sure you can figure it out. And then they just didn't like that. She was like they were considering her Israeli, a person of color, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like you guys are stupid. But yeah, people are just very against that movie from the get-go. And then when it came out and they're like, oh my god, like I remember seeing specific people who did a complete 180 on their original thoughts of the film. And she was great. I mean, she was in the freaking Israeli Defense Force. Like she's tough.
Yeah.
And then people didn't like that about her either, because then it's like, oh, she's anti-Palestinian, blah blah blah. But yeah, there was actually some anger about her.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that when their background, especially with other movies, upcoming movies too. Let's say, well, I don't want to go too much into it, but Mulan's an example of that too. But yeah, so just wait and see.
Did you get to see Mulan, John? Did anyone here get to see it?
No.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I was supposed to go to a screening and I missed it.
I saw A Quiet Place, and I'm grateful for that. Before it got pulled, so that's the one I saw advanced. Oh, at Antlers. Guillermo del Toro.
Gotta watch that. But yeah, any last words on this? I'm gonna end this right now.
And what?
The stream,
dude. This is a short stream. You got to be going longer than this.
No.
We started talking about Gail Gadot's. Gail Gadot's armpit hair, and we're gonna stop it. This is when it got interesting.
Yes, that's how we stop it right now.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna do it. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Follow was it Nerd Like Sprinkled by Magic.